Hey, idiot.
Oh,
What?
hold on. I might bump for a second. Hold on. Am I still there?
No.
Hold on, I'm getting another call.
Hey, stupid.
Hey, whoreface.
Hello, Adam Barry. How are you?
Great. How are you? What's new, pussycat?
Just lollygagging around the house. I got my second shot on Wednesday.
How did that go?
It went great. No
You didn't
side
have
effects.
any side effects?
None.
Did you have Pfizer or Moderna?
Pfizer.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
I got my second shot. I came home. I was like, I prepared. I had a food care order sent to the house. I was ready. I had bottles of water. I'm gonna hydrate.
Yeah.
And 3 hours later, I walked to the grocery store, and then I came home and I went to sleep. I woke up the next day. I rode my bike all around for 6 miles. My arm never hurt. Nothing.
I hate you. I mean, Pfizer, I think it's because it's Pfizer. Those with Pfizer had those kind of things. I was sick. So I had the shot at 1:30 on a Friday, and around midnight, I felt something was coming. I was like, something's coming. And then around 3 a.m., I woke up shaking so bad that I couldn't stay in bed. And it was like an earthquake. And I couldn't take my temperature because I couldn't find I was shaking that bad. It was terrible. And so that lasted for an hour or so. I took some Tylenol, knocked it out. And then I had a fever ranging between 99.5 and 101 for 24 hours. Literally the whole day just out.
So my sister had me, well, not my sister, Jessica had me worried because she had super bad reaction to her second shot. She got sick too. Yeah. And then my sister didn't get any. And my sister was like, our DNA can handle it. My sister didn't have any side effects either. And then my sister jokingly said that because I smoke and drink so much, whenever germs get into my body, they're like, get me the fuck out of here.
Girl, I swear to you, through the entire pandemic, we were like, maybe we're drinking too much vodka. But then we were like, no way, because it enters your nose and your mouth. It hits the vodka. It's instant hand sanitizer.
Yeah, you're literally drinking what they're telling you to wash yourself in.
Thank you. And I was like, there is zero chance that we're going to get it. And fun story, we didn't get it through the height of the pandemic, but we tested positive for antibodies.
Yeah, that's weird.
In November. And the only other time that Ben and I together were deathly sick, where we just felt the exact same way I felt with the side effects of the vaccine, was December of 2019, late December of 2019. Sorry, can you hear Cheeto just barking and interrupting the...
No, that's great. I love that Cheeto's barking and interrupting.
He's like, let me inside. And I'm like, no, you're literally, you can't go inside. Okay, I mean, he tells us what he wants. He's like, I want inside right now. Cheeto, come here. Ignoring me. He doesn't care. We were so sick. We felt the exact same way we felt when I did. Ben had no side effects really. And I felt so sick, but it felt the same way. And that was the only time that we were sick. We went to a fundraiser party for children, which means it's a toy drive in a bar, in the basement of a bar. And there were, 100 people packed in, and 40 people out of all those 100 people came down with the same crazy flu-like symptoms. Everyone had it. And this was early on. I don't know if it was a different strand, because I got it on the party was on a Tuesday. I was instantly sick on Thursday. That's 3 days after almost. And then he and I were like so sick until like Saturday, and then it was manageable, right? It's manageable. And then on Monday, I flew to Vegas and had like a photo shoot thing. But I saw Chip Coffee, Amy, Jason, Steve, Dave, a bunch of other like Travel Channel people, and I didn't get any of them sick because I was like not shaking their hands, and I was like, and I didn't have a fever anymore. But I don't know if it was a different version of the virus. But my God, that was the only time I was sick the entire time of the pandemic, and we tested positive for antibodies.
Well, we're all very lucky.
We are, and now we're fully vaxxed and feeling. Cheers.
Cheers.
What are you drinking? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking coffee and Bailey's.
Sensible. I could not remember what go-go juice was. I feel like it's vodka and Monster.
I don't know.
And I tried to remember, and then I was going to go back and listen to the podcast because I'm a huge fan of the podcast, you know.
Thanks.
And so I was going to go back and listen. It's like a cabin cast. It's like it's like a warm blanket cast. And I was gonna like, in honor of Jess, make a go-go juice, but I don't know what it is. This is my version of a Arnold Palmer. It's a vodka with tea, with Louisiana tea.
So is it, if it's your version, is it 10% tea and 90% vodka?
Yeah, it's that drink where your friend like, can I make you a drink? And it's like 90% vodka and like 5% tea and like the rest is lemon. It's good.
The bar I go to here, Gus's.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I'm familiar.
Sometimes the bartenders like pour my drinks and they are undrinkable because they pour them so heavy.
No. That's a lie. There's nothing undrinkable about that. You just have to suffer through it because you know what you get at the end, right?
Yeah.
It's not undrinkable.
But then I sometimes get mad if like there's someone, or if they're busy, or if there's a newish bartender who doesn't know my drink.
Yeah.
And then I get a regular drink, and then I'm like, what is this? What is this garbage?
Totally. Like, I'm so afraid. That's one of my, I guess it's not a fear, but like, it's a social fear I have. A new bartender at my favorite bar.
Yes.
Because like we go to this restaurant called Bubala's. It's one of my favorite places. It's our go-to place. We're family when we're there. And if the bartender behind the bar doesn't know what a Bubala's martini is, because it's not on the menu and it's not hard to make, everyone listening, it's literally chilled vodka in a glass, no vermouth, with tom olives. But if I ask for that, they're like, oh, you want the Bubala's Manhattan? It's like, no. I want the martini. And so you have to I hate telling bartenders how to make drinks because they know,
I get afraid that I've gone to Gus's since before it was legal for me to drink. So I used to go there when I was like 16 and 17.
You mean last year?
Yes. And I get afraid that by the time I go back to Gus's, there will be a whole bunch of people that don't know me there.
Yeah. I don't like that. I like the feeling of when you walk in, you don't own the place, but you have a sense of ownership because you've been in that place. You've gotten drunk in that place. You've closed that place. You have had parties and bar mitzvahs.
You sometimes end up working at that place.
Thank you. Yeah, unbeknownst, like you
all of a sudden you're cleaning tables for some reason and picking up other people's drinks.
You're defending the place against people who are like, oh, that place is crap. I'm like, you don't know. You shut up. You shut your fucking mouth.
The bartenders are telling you, can you go behind the counter and get that for me?
Thank you. I'm really busy. Get it yourself.
Yeah.
Great. So last night was the opening night of Bubala's. We went and had dinner, and lucky for us, one of my favorite bartenders, people that work there, Angie, was at the bar. And so we walk in, and Guy, who's the owner of the bar, I've known him, he's in the family. He immediately walks up to Ben and I and he goes, listen, bad news. I don't have any tamales. And I was like, it's okay. He was like, no. He's like, I know you want your tamales because we are literally, if you don't know the drink exists, you don't get it, right? He only keeps the jar for us Nobody else has it. He's like, I don't have it. He was like, do you want to go back to your house and get the jar of tamales in your fridge and bring it? And I was like, no. We'll do a twist.
You've got me. How? There used to be a bartender in Detroit named Guy.
Oh, it's not the same.
Are you
It's not
sure?
the same. Yeah. Guy is a so the mob family of Provincetown are the
Jesus
Yingling,
Christ.
right? Let's go into it. I call them the mob family of Provincetown. They're the Yinglings, not the beer, just the Yinglings. So his father started Spiritus Pizza in the 70s. And so they own Spiritus Pizza. They own the buildings across the street. And people have been to Provincetown, if you're listening, you know it's like a hamlet, a little village. So they own the pizza place, they own the buildings across the street, they own Boobala's, which is next to it, and they own the restaurant in front of it. So they own like a square block of Provincetown. And Guy is, he's older than I am. I'd say like I don't know, maybe 5 years older than I am. But I've known him forever. So no, it's not that Guy. But he's like every Guy you would imagine. Like he's a Guy.
Yes.
Not Guy, because I know
Right.
a guy. I know a GUY and a GUY.
I
guy.
know guys, and I know a Guy.
Guy. It's Guy, and so he's every Guy that you would imagine. But he immediately made sure that we understood no tamales, and it didn't change. The vodka still went down the same way. I'm not worried.
The last time I went to a bar, which would have been near you,
Yeah.
was a couple of years ago. I went to a bar. Where is Lauren Coleman's museum?
Is it in
Boston? Is it in Mass somewhere?
maybe?
Anyway, I went to a bar on that coast, which I'm not used to doing. I'm not used to going to those types of bars.
Yeah.
I was having a drink, and the bartender and I started chatting up the bartender, and she laughed at a few things that I said, and then she took my drink away from me, and she said, I'm going to do you a favor. You're too nice to be in this bar. You have to go.
What?
And I said, what? And she's like, you're being too nice. You're a nice person. You seem to be not drunk. This bar in the next couple hours is going to get so terrible, you should leave. And I was like, I'm from Detroit. That's okay. And she's like, no, you don't understand what East Coast bars are like. And then she had a bouncer come and walk me out. And as I was in the parking lot, 3 police cars pulled up and charged into the bar.
They raided it.
They
raided the bar. She liked you then. Thank God. It was a sting operation.
Something was going on.
I worked for a gentleman in Provincetown. I worked at a cigar and wine store, which was one of the best experiences, for a job, because not only did I learn about high quality wines, but I learned about cigars, which, I mean, there's a level of like whatever. But he told me this crazy story one time that I will never forget. I actually shared it last night, but in the 70s, he was working in a bar in Manhattan, and it was a illegal late night bar where after the other bars would close, everybody who's anybody would go to these bars, and they're completely illegal. New York Yankees would go there, baseball players, stars, whatever, and no one could get in, right? So he said this one night, they had an inside informant that would tell them when they're going to be raided, because that's the way it works. And so they called all the A-listers and said, don't come until 4 a.m. or like 5 a.m., whatever it was. Don't come. Give it some time. And then they let all of these people in that they'd never let in before to come into this bar. And the only liquor they had on the shelf was like Asti, was like liqueurs,
right?
Like nothing good. And sure enough, they told the bartender, they were like, you're going to be arrested and we're going to come get you. So sure enough, the police came in, raided, took a chainsaw, sawed the bar in half, arrested the bartender, and kicked everybody out. As soon as the police left, there were carpenters waiting in the alley. They came in, they put the bar back together, they put all the real booze on the shelf. They bailed out the bartender from the jail, and all of the A-listers came into the bar, and the bar started again. I was like, where are the, and he also used to get a police escort because there was a police car that used to sit on the corner, and he was like, no, I'm going to go make friends. So he would ask them, he'd go like, what do you want to drink? And he would bring them out drinks to the police car. And then when his shift was over, he would get escorted by them to his apartment because he was carrying suitcases full of like cocaine and money, And so the cops would escort him to his apartment so he didn't get jumped because he was like nice. Those are the days when
Have you ever been in a bar or a restaurant when it was raided?
Thankfully, I will have to say no. I'm going to say thankfully because, my people, my LGBTQ people, we were raided, bars are raided, that's how Stonewall riots happen. So I'm going to say thankfully no. I've been in bars where it's been too crowded and the fire marshal was like, get these people out. And so they kicked out people they didn't know,
Right.
And we all stayed around. But, why would you, what's the reason to be raided today, you think?
I don't know. I mean, I was at a punk rock show once in the 80s, which was being held in a like abandoned building.
Well, yeah.
And the Detroit police showed up with like a SWAT team and they arrested a few people. But I think the thing that was most worrisome to me at the time was when we were all outside and we didn't really know what they were going to do, the Detroit police helicopter showed up. And at like 16, when you see like that helicopter light hits you, you're like, oh, I fucked up. I made some bad mistakes.
Yeah. You're like, I'm sorry for everything I've done.
But then at the same time, like you and I have talked before, like my uncle was at Stonewall. Like,
right.
That is a riot and that is a raid. And that is like
two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully that doesn't, I would assume that doesn't happen nowadays. It's haunted, right? By the way, Stonewall.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. My friend Kay Pazakis, who we helped on a case, contacted me because they're like, the bartender wants your information because this place is haunted and they don't know what's going on. And clearly you can't really investigate Stonewall because they can't shut down their bar.
Right.
That's not going to happen. But yeah, they have a ghost of someone they feel like was a patron there that's always there. Somebody is messing with the electricity, they said. That could be anything. But they like genuinely, the people that work there are like, when we close down at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. and no one is in the bar, it's as if the bar is still hopping, like it's still going on. Like that's what it feels like. And I was like, that's interesting to think, like the ghosts of those that have gone before us, those people that have gone before us are still kind of like, you say last call for those people, for the human, for the pivot.
Right.
I'm still here, loaded up,
Yeah. Wow, that's super interesting.
Yeah, it's I told him, I was like, there's no way we can come down because you're not going to shut down the bar. But I was like, the next time I'm in town getting drunk or something, I'll hang out at the bar and see what happens,
Are you guys filming though right now?
I can't say, it's this
I forget that there's a whole bunch of that whole world that in my world of no secrets, I forget that there are people who have obligations and secrets.
If you read between the lines, we're very good at like reading between the lines posts. We're posting things and reading between the lines, and there's still a lot of people that just don't get it, which is totally fine. If I post a picture of cameras, you would think,
right?
But still, people are like, I don't know, what are you doing?
What did you for quarantine? What was your main source of not being insane? What did you do? Because we haven't talked.
We haven't. We have online, but like not really. Not
right.
Really. Besides make cocktails, what did we do? I guess we watched a lot of things, like a lot of television, like binged everything that anybody was talking about online. It started with Tiger King and it never ended.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And so we did that. And then, we did film a season during quarantine, which was interesting to say the least. And I guess the one thing I figured out, when we started filming.
Because Chippy did everything remote, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He did everything remote. And it was fine because that's what he does. Like he does that it's one of his specialties. And so we weren't concerned with that. But like we started in June, and I remember being really paranoid, like really paranoid, because nobody knew anything. It was June of 2020. And, you know, working with a network, the list of do's and don'ts are long and short. You know, I drove everywhere. Our cases were within driving distance. And I think what I learned more than anything being on the road filming during the height of the pandemic was that you are responsible for yourself. Like you can do you. You wear your mask, you do your thing, you keep your hand sanitizer. I like that microBane spray. Yep. I sprayed my hotel room, doorknobs, faucets, toilets. I did all of that myself when I got into my room. Everybody did. And you just did what you could do so that you felt safe. Everybody was COVID tested. I was COVID tested all the time. But it was it was weird. Okay, wait, can I cuss? Oh yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Fuckity. Fuckity fuck. It was weird. And I don't want to do it again. I mean, there sort of came this normalcy that happened where we just got used to it, and it felt good, you know?
Yeah.
But it was still really, really, really crazy. And then you have to figure out, like, when I came back from the road, like I had friends that wouldn't see me, or like, which is totally fine.
Right.
Because I've been on the road. You know, I was like, I was just COVID tested, but still, it's like, you know, someone's immune deficient, or like, I'm not going to see my friends. And then you had your pod of friends who you're COVID tested. Cool. Let's have dinner. Like, you know, it was that kind of thing. And it was weird, man. It was weird.
It's still weird. I think we're all going to have a ton of trauma, like trying to return to a world that's not quarantined.
Do you think, I love to think about the similarities and comparisons between the 1918 flu pandemic and this one, because that one lasted for 2 or 3 years, right? Mm-hmm. And then we hit the Roaring 20s.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing the same thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Right? I went and had my first in a bar drink yesterday, and I was talking to Ray, the owner of the bar.
Yeah.
And I said, how's business doing? And he goes, it's fine, but everyone that comes in gets fucking annihilated.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I think I think it's going to be a research. What's weird is it's like a repeat of the Roaring 20s. I mean, except instead of doing the flapper, we're doing the WAP. You know, we're talking about wet ass puss instead of like Charleston. We're doing drop, make it hot, and a wet ass, like, you know, it's like totally different worlds, but like it's the same thing. And when I think about it, you know, those people were traumatized. I mean, those were like really, I guess, shut up, car. I'm doing this outside. When you think about it, like my grandmother, one of my grandmothers who's passed now, she was born in 1916. So she even didn't see it. And they lived in rural Alabama. So I can't imagine they were touched by it, you know. So it's going to be a thing. But I feel like the urgency to get back to quote unquote normal is heightened in this century rather than that century. Because I feel like people just continue to do what they needed to do, and that they didn't shut the bars down in that century.
Right.
You know, they talked about masks and people did wear them, but it was more so like, you know, technology and vaccines weren't. You know.
I think the thing that interests me, because looking at all my friends' different professions, I think that's going to be very hard. I mean, I think that they're going to try, but I think it's going to be very hard for corporate America to get people to go back to the way corporate America was pre-pandemic.
I agree. It's not going to happen. I mean, Disney was just announced, was like, no more masks outside. And you're like, yeah, right. But then you have like, you don't want to get sued.
Right.
And we're in a sue crazy culture. Like people will sue for looking at you the wrong way. It's like, did you look at me that way? I'm going to sue you. So It is what it is. I'm excited. I'm excited to be fully vaccinated. And what's weird is Bruni and I were talking about if the White House would just say, or if somebody would just say, if you get vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask, more people would get vaccinated. We were talking about that. And then the next day, she and I are sitting at a bar in an airport already being like, this is so weird. We see on our phones that the CDC announces, and then the White House announces. She and I are both getting tears in our eyes while we're having these cocktails at a bar. And I look around expecting it to be that, like in the 1940s, the end of World War II, everyone's taking off their mask and kissing each other and being like, wow, we won. And everyone else is still like, of course, right? And it's really shocking. It was really great to hear, but also, it's going to take a minute for us to get used to. I don't want to change the subject, but I'm changing the subject.
You can talk about anything you want to.
Did you go to the dollar store today?
I did.
What did you get at the dollar store? You go every day.
I don't go every day.
No, you go every single day, apparently.
I go once a week, maybe.
Okay, fine. What we're talking about, the Dollar Tree or the Dollar General?
Dollar Tree. It's not a dollar store if there's shit there that costs more than $1. Dollar Tree is the only true dollar store because everything in there is a fucking dollar.
Right. Dollar General is just
there's shit in there for $20 at Dollar General.
Right. You went to the Dollar Tree.
Yes.
What did you get today at the Dollar Tree?
Today at the Dollar Tree, I got, I needed a shower curtain liner.
And you got that.
So I got a shower curtain liner.
How bad does it smell though? Like when you take it out of its package, does it smell like that plastic?
So I'm not using it. This is ridiculous.
Wait, are you doing a?
It's not for a shower. It's not for my shower.
Are we like? Wait, what's that?
I have a window in my upstairs of my house that doesn't
I don't know
have.
where this is going, but I love it.
Okay, so in the upstairs of my house used to have one of those like built-in air conditioning wall units.
Yeah. Yep.
And I pulled the air conditioning unit out, so there is a literal like 24 by 20 foot or 20-inch hole in the wall.
Yeah, to the outside.
To the outside.
Yeah.
So I created a frame for that hole, and then I created a screen for it. But the temperature here has been really crazy, so the temperature has been like cold at night.
Yeah.
And I have this open fucking screen window hole in my upstairs.
Is it an attic or like a room?
It's in my bedroom.
Oh my God. No, you'd be freezing.
Yeah, so I was like, what can I have to cover it, but I can still see the light out of it?
A
translucent, clear plastic shower curtain liner. Then I just cut it to size and put it over the hole.
Okay, but then I have to ask you though, are you planning to put another like wall AC unit in that hole?
No, I'm having all the windows at my house redone, and when they come to do my windows, they will cut the hole and put an actual new window in that space. That's
cute. That's really cute. Because I didn't know if you were just gonna like live with this plastic hole moment, just like a plastic, because I've been in, look, Cape Cod has houses that just
for sure.
Thank you. And so sometimes you just
too, we've driven through, whether it be for television or just a event or whatever like that. Like we've driven through cities where you're like, oh, that house is abandoned, and then someone walks out of it.
Exactly. They're like, actually, I live here, and there's like 20 other people that also live here.
Yes.
Yeah.
No problem.
So I'm glad. Listen. So you cut a little piece of the plastic. Are you using the rest of the shower curtain like as a Dexter laboratory?
I will find a purpose for it.
Okay, so that's all you bought today at the dollar store was?
I bought a plastic shower curtain liner. I bought a bag of cheap generic potato chips just because they were there and I was hungry.
What flavor?
Just regular plain potato chips.
I love plain potato chips. My favorite are like wavy Lays.
I have veggie hot dogs and veggie chili, so I'm making chili dogs for dinner, and I realized I needed potato chips to go with them.
We're making beer broth,
Ooh,
right? They're not veggie, but you could make
yeah, for sure.
veggie broths. That sounds good.
And then I bought a couple candles, and then every time I'm there, just because now it's, again, talk about trauma from like the pandemic. Every time I'm there, I'll buy like 2 little bottles of hand sanitizer.
Yep. Yes.
Every time. Every time.
I'm triggered. So when I'm in any store and I see like little Purells, I'm like, gotta get it.
Yep.
Gotta get it. Like some people are hoarding gas right now, which I don't understand.
In plastic bags.
in Tupperware and in plastic bags. I don't get it, but I am still hoarding hand sanitizer because I'm like, give it to me, and not toilet paper so much though.
Listen, I'm a single man in a house. I do not need to hoard toilet paper. I'm not going 5 times a day.
Do you use like wet wipes, like wet butt wipes?
I use both.
Me too. I can't. If I had a normal bidet,
yeah,
I would be okay with the bidet.
When my dad was living with me, my dad would use a roll of toilet paper a day.
What?
Yes.
Oh, how much shit is on his ass?
Who knows?
Oh my God. Like that means he's wrapping his hand and it looks like a mitten.
Yes.
And then he's just like.
And then every other day the toilet would clog from toilet paper.
Oh my God. That is so, do you know what have you ever heard about the recommended
it's like
amount of toilet
4
paper
squares or something, right?
It's like, I think it's 2 squares. I literally think it's 2 squares. But if you're just getting shit all over your
But did you know, I don't know if you know this or not though, but did you know that the fecal matter on your butt can transfer through 7 layers of toilet paper?
You know what? Wash your damn hands.
Wash your ass.
Wash your ass. I had a director once. We were Paragon
Theater. Also, if you're healthy, you don't need to wipe that much.
Yeah, you're fine. Listen. I mean, sometimes you get messy shit. This podcast is turning into the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's a messy shit.
Dogs wipe their butt with toilet paper.
Never. They rub their ass on the carpet sometimes, but that's not because. Yeah. I had a director once that we were working with for our theater company, and he said over and over to these youngins, these college age kids, he was like, if you do anything before you come to rehearsal, is wash your ass. Just wash your damn ass. Nobody wants to smell your ass in rehearsal. You're going to come to rehearsal and sweat. Please wash your ass before you get here. Because it'll be ass on ass if you don't.
That's funny because in high school, my theater teacher used to tell us, before you come to practice, clean out your closet. And he used to mean, like, leave all your shit at home.
Yep.
Don't bring it to leave it at home. Clean out your closet before you come to practice because I don't want to deal with it.
Your baggage, leave your baggage at the door. Oh, I just saw my first mosquito of the season. Done. Killed it. Dead.
How's your weather there?
Right. Oh God, today it felt like 80 degrees. It's 67 degrees. It feels like 64. It's literally the perfect weather. High 60, 65 to 70 degrees is legitimately the most perfect weather ever. I love it more than anything.
I feel like summer's going to be brutal this year.
Yeah. I mean, it was hot today and I still wore a hoodie out. And Ben was like, why are you wearing a hoodie? And I was like, because I'm fat now. I have put on weight and I don't care. Maybe I'll sweat. Who knows? That's the worst. Ugh.
You think you've gotten fat?
Yeah, because you know me. I was going to the gym all the time, and that whole I hate talking about the pandemic the whole damn time, but
yeah, but you know what the other thing is too, and I know you don't want to hear me say this.
Okay.
Adam Berry.
What?
You're getting old.
How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? I will hang up on you, you bitch.
I remember meeting you, and you were just this young, nubile, young, svelte, in shape boy. And look at you now.
I'm the same. Listen, here's the thing. I met you the first time I met you. Can we recall when that was? When was that? What event was it? It had to have been a Strange Escapes or like a Beyond Reality event.
Did you ever do
It was the Stanley.
Fort Wayne in Michigan?
No. It would have had to have been.
Then it was probably a Stanley event, and it was probably
Stanley.
It was probably 2014.
No, it was earlier than that because I started doing events in 2010.
So then 2012.
Yeah, it was probably really early. It was probably that. It was probably Stanley. Ben's chiming in if you can hear.
It's like 9 years.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing, though. The first part that I met you, I didn't go to the gym. It wasn't until.
That's because you were a young boy.
Yes, no, but I also was in.
Your old man metabolism hadn't kicked in.
Girl, listen here. The vodka has kicked in. That's what the problem is, okay? The vodka has kicked in, and there's no other remedy. I didn't really go to the gym. And then starting around 2015, 2016, I started going to the gym a lot, and I felt good about myself. And I was on this path, I took classes. I was ready to go. I still did whatever I wanted to do. But I ate healthy, and then the pandemic happened and all bets were off because we all sort of like gave up. We were like, let go and let God. Let's see what happens on the end. And in the end, this is what we get. So I'm at that weird point where I'm struggling to like find the motivation to get back into what it is. And maybe I guess that's the problem. You don't have to find motivation to get back to where you were. You have to find motivation to get started in something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to go backwards.
I do know what you're saying, because you have to find something like a reason to ride your bike once a week, which is going to the Dollar Tree.
Or walking to the gas station.
Yes.
Side note, I've seen 5 mosquitoes now outside. Will you, 2 seconds, I'm asking my husband, will you shut that screen door so they don't get into our home? What, are you looking at a treasure map right now?
Kind of.
I think he's finding treasure.
I'm looking at an 1858 map.
An 1858, look at this mosquito. Fuck that little bitch. Will you shut that? If it gets in and eats my face at night, I'm going to get SARS. What do you get from mosquito illnesses?
Malaria?
Zika.
Malaria.
And Zika.
And Zika.
And Zika. I don't want Zika.
And Zima.
You're like Nagzima. I don't. Why are we getting mosquitoes? I even said to Ben today, I was like, Ben, for those of you listening, I'm in my backyard. And I said to Ben, I was like, I need to spray for mosquitoes. My friend Melinda, who I think is a lesbian witch, she gave me this potion. And she said, add some water to this and then spray it all over everything. And I was like, is it environmentally friendly? And she said, it will not kill your plants. And you can spray it anywhere you want. It smells like paint thinner. However, when you use it, Tenny, it literally, there is no mosquitoes for a month and a half. It literally is the weirdest magic. It doesn't kill bees.
It does.
No, it does not kill bees. It does not kill bees. Why? It does not kill bees. So guess what?
What? Chicken butt.
Today, thank you. Guess what? Chicken butt.
That was a big
today,
fucking deal when you were a kid.
Oh, I know. It still is. Like, if you ever say that to Charlotte, Amy's child, if you say, guess what? She'd be like, what? You go, chicken butt. She's like, it's the best. She'll make that sound like a rabid chicken. Like a goat. Today is this right here. What we're doing is my 20-year high school reunion.
I saw you post on Twitter about it.
I took a Tenny line and used it on Twitter because I completely agree with you because I listened to the podcast. I'm a big fan. And I listen, and it's true. And I didn't go, but there's more to it though, because I asked, like, there's a Facebook fan page for our graduating class, which is so new in 20th century. And they were all like, oh, let's have this class reunion. Let's have it at a park, like a gazebo in a park, right? And I was like, fuck that. I am not flying to fucking Alabama to go to see people that I'm not going to recognize you. You're going to know who I am. Thank you. But I don't know who you are anymore. I don't want to do this. And so I tried to get them to postpone it until like December, right? And I was like, if you postpone it to December, I can work together with people and I can we could have it at the Marriott open bar with hors d'oeuvres and like, let's fucking do this.
Do it. Yeah.
Right? They took it upon themselves to have it in a more upscale than a park gazebo, but they had it at a lake resort place. They have a taco truck, 2 half kegs, and a bottle of tequila.
That's all you need.
That's all you need, apparently. And it's happening right now. But I agree with you. It is going to be a bunch of people that are drinking through the awkwardness, that do not recognize each other, that will continue to only be talking in their cliques.
When my 30 year was going to happen, someone reached out to me and was like, are you going to come to the 30 year? And I said, no, I didn't. I like barely showed up at the 20.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, first it's only like $40. And first I was like, no. Yeah. And this girl said, why don't you want to go? And I told her just very openly, I said, I have no interest in hanging out with people, the majority of who that I hated for 4 years.
Thank you.
And the others who I only liked due to proximity for 4 years.
Right.
And haven't talked to in 25 years.
Is there anyone from your high school days that you still speak to?
Yes.
Right. And you speak to them on the regular or every once in a while.
Yeah.
So I don't need to go see everyone else I don't talk to.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So right. So my thing was like me and 2 other friends, and I'm not going to say their names in case for some reason the entire class of 2001 is listening to this. But I said, we said to each other, like, we're not going to go if you're not going to go, because all I want to see is you. We would have shown up fashionably late, drunk, and we would have left early. Okay, we'd have been there for an hour. And I said, we should. I said to them, I was like, let's take a helicopter and just land that motherfucker like on the lawn. Get out, grab some drinks, and go right back to the helicopter and just leave. Clearly didn't happen. But those people I talk to them. And so I know what they're doing. I'm keeping up with them or other people that I see. I don't need to see any of these boys that I never spoke to ever. They probably talk shit behind my back that was very nice to my face.
Right.
And I don't need to explain myself,
Yeah.
On the flip side, I would have loved to have dressed to the tens and taken my gay ass with my husband into this party and been like, where are the martinis? Here's the vodka. How much, and sort of showed out a little bit. But like, it comes a point where what are you trying to prove?
I think most people go because they want to judge themselves against the other people and see how they've done, which is why I would go probably.
Right. Right. Exactly.
But also, like, my father said, because I think my father was having like a 60-year reunion or a 50-year reunion or something like that. And my dad said at that point, the only reason anyone goes is to see who they outlived.
Yeah. Who's alive.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, well, and with social media, if there's anybody you want to connect with, you can find them with a search.
Yep.
And so for our class to even be having a class reunion is, I think is special because no one does that. I mean, those that graduated in the 50s and the 60s, those class reunions through the years kept people together. It like
Right.
kept you
They didn't
informed.
have social media.
Right. You wanted to go because you wanted to see this person, you know? And that's where all these really great like Lifetime movies come from, where like I didn't see this person, I was in love with them. But now you know where they are. You see them on social media.
I think for me, one of the aspects too, like that you see it's a movie trope where you go back and you connect with the person that you loved in high school or whatever like that.
Yeah.
For me personally, like everyone that I was interested in high school, I dated.
Okay.
And that those
Well, you're a
relationships-
player. I'm sorry. You're a player. You're like anyone that I wanted.
I'm just being honest.
I'm sorry. You're like that's a brag. That's really good. You're like anyone who I wanted.
I can tell you right now, I absolutely can know. I know this right off the top of my head. I will be 50 years old this year, and there are 2 women in my life that didn't date me that I wanted to date.
Oh, are they dead?
No.
Oh, go get them, John.
No,
go
they're
get 'em.
very happy in their lives, and that's fine by me.
All right, fine. Wait, what day do you turn 50? What's the birthday
August
again?
24th.
2 days after our wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does that mean, is that Paracon?
Yes.
You're turning 50 at Paracon?
Yes.
So we're getting wasted.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. If you had said no,
I wonder if anybody there will buy me a drink.
Everyone, you might die. Should we read your last rites before you go?
Well, that means if you host anything, I have to be a part of it.
Oh no, I'm hosting the dinner.
Well, then I have to be.
You literally, now that you've said this, you're never leaving the stage. You will be, I will walk up there with you, and then it'll just be you and me. I'm going to get you a crown. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. So yeah, high school reunions happening right now. I'm not there. I'd rather be here, so it's fine.
You're much happier here.
Understandably so. And if anybody wants to see what I'm up to, they can visit adam-berry.com.
Perfect.
Check it out. Because I'm like, the people that I wanted to talk to. I mean, my high school, I've been listening to your podcast. I'm a fan.
That's a 3 for now.
Listen, I'm just going to keep saying that so that people understand. I do enjoy listening to it. You're a punk rock kid, and from where I came from, like, that didn't exist. I mean, it was country Alabama. I mean, I grew up. I occupied myself with things. So I went to school. I think our school started at 7:30. I didn't leave till 10:30 at night because it was school, and then it was extracurricular, whether it was chorus, band, drama, whatever it was. And so I focused on myself, and I did my thing. I came out to a select few friends, and I did my thing. So if anybody like talked about me or like wanted to pick on me, they didn't do it to my face,
right?
Because I feel like my motivation was very intimidating to them, because I sang for school functions. Like the entire school would be there, and I would sing something, and people were impressed, I guess, by the audacity of like not caring. Like he doesn't care. Like he does not care. And so I'm sure they said shit behind my back. I'm sure they did.
In high school, my best friend at the time, he went to a different high school, but we would hang out all the time. And I was dating a girl, and he was dating a girl who were best friends. That's how he and I met.
Yeah.
And over the course of that group's friendship, he broke up with his girlfriend, and then he was like the third wheel to me and my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the first person. We were talking one time, and he came out to me. And he was like, I just want to tell you, now that I know you and trust you and whatever, he's like, but you're the first person that I'm going to kind of openly tell that I'm gay.
Yeah.
And he goes, and I broke up with my girlfriend because I think that I love you.
And you were like, oh, that's really sweet, but.
Yeah. And then.
God, Tenny.
And then he didn't talk to me for 28 years.
No. You broke his heart to the ground.
And he's very happy now. He's got a husband. He's very happy. His life is perfect. We've talked, we've laughed, we've had drinks since then.
I know. You know
He apologized for leaving our friendship. I told him I understood, but it was very hard.
It's so hard because it is that thing where it's so different now. Like, I don't know how it is for people who are young and in high school and in LGBTQ community, because it's like, it's so different. Like, I grew up, I mean, in between your generation and my generation, it was so different.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up on, Ellen DeGeneres coming out on television, Rosie O'Donnell's show, Will and Grace was a thing. So in the media, LGBT and the lives of LGBT people were still there. However, it was still stigmatized. It was still Matthew Shepard. The year I came out, Matthew Shepard was murdered. And my family, their whole focus was, we just want you to be okay. We don't want you to get killed.
Right.
And, for us, but your friend coming out and saying that he literally was like, I am going to come out to my best friend and I'm in love with him and I hope he feels the same. And, obviously, he doesn't because, whatever. But oh my God, that is so sad.
It was heartbreaking.
You're an asshole, Tenny.
He did all of that. Are you ready for this? That whole process of him saying that, all of that stuff, his school, which is also where the girl I was dating at the time.
Yeah.
It was their prom night, and the three of us had all gone to prom, and we had all gotten a hotel room, and he dumped that on me when my girlfriend was in the bathroom.
Oh my, okay. That's okay. He was feeling his oats. He was like, this is the moment. What are we gonna do? Be like, even if you were gonna take one for the team, you couldn't do it then.
Right.
You couldn't just be like, I'm gonna get this. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that was just not the way. That was not the way.
No, but that's the thing. What you're talking about, though, that might have not been the way, but there was no way back then. That was 1987 or 88. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean,
I was getting beat up for being gay as much as he was being beat up for being gay, and I wasn't gay.
Right, because people thought, oh, you're punk rock, like that's so gay. Like of course.
I had an earring. That was enough to get beat up because you were gay.
Of course. You know what? It was different time. It was a different time period for everybody. And I think every generation, I think the biggest takeaway for anyone listening is that no matter what, each generation should never forget where the other generation came from. Whether you're gay, straight, whatever, it doesn't matter. Your generation before you did something and built on the generation before them. And so when I see all these people say, my pronouns are he, him, she, they, I'm like, of course they are. Because we set the tone so that you don't have to fight as much, but yet you are still fighting. So they're fighting for their ability to say truthfully who they are, right? Rather than being put in a box, gay, straight, lesbian, bi, whatever. They, instead of being in that box, like, we can be fluid, we can be whatever. And that is new, right? Even the gay men who helped them get there are like, I'm confused. It's like, it's okay to be confused.
To a much lesser degree, I had this conversation with an old punk rock friend of mine where he was complaining about all of the kids who have different colored hair now and they all dress really crazy and kind of punkish style, and they have blue hair and green hair. And he was like, they'll never know the difficulties we went through looking like punks. And I grabbed him by the shoulders and I was like, that's why we went through those difficulties, so that they wouldn't have to.
Right. And they are dealing with something that we would never deal with.
Right.
And they will change the world the way we change the world. And then the people that come after them will have other difficulties and they will also complain about that. It's like, look, life goes on and we figure it out. This podcast, this conversation was there was no paranormal in it. Do you got a story for me? Anything happened recently?
No. People don't really listen to this podcast for paranormal stuff.
Oh, good. Well, thank God, because I ain't got nothing either.
Do you listen to this podcast because of paranormal stuff?
No, I'm a fan of the podcast. I listen to it because it's first I miss you, and I love Jess. I think she's awesome. The times that I've met her, I think she's so awesome. But I like the chemistry that you two have, and I like the conversations that you two have, and I feel like I am eavesdropping on a conversation that I'm a part of. There are times I'm in my car driving, listening, and I am like, yep, yeah. I'm like vocally talking, or I'm like, or you said something about, I don't know, you disgusted me with some sort of like something, and I was like, no,
Was
God,
I
it made
talking
me
about my
want.
squished toe?
Oh yes, oh my God,
How it
feet
just looked
or
like
so.
someone hit a grape with a hammer.
Ugh,
The
it was
whole toenail
terrifying.
peeled off, and then the whole toe was just pushy flesh. There was
Yeah,
no
it was just
toenail there.
yeah, disgusting. And I screamed, no, nobody needs that. I like talk back at the I say radio, but I'm like, and so that's why I love the podcast. And I really hope people weren't bored. I don't know why. Actually, I don't know why I'm here. The phone rang just, and all of a sudden you were on the other end. So I don't know. But yeah, no, I like it because it's simple and not like, it has structure, but it doesn't have structure. And
I think
it,
I think I wanted, because of, not to bring it all back to quarantine,
uh,
but I wanted it to not have structure. We've all become very structured over the past year and a half. And I wanted it to be as loose as the world seemed to be to us before quarantine. Sitting in a bar, talking to people, listening to the conversations of the people sitting at the table next to you.
yeah, eavesdropping.
Yeah,
Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, we're definitely loose. I've said some things in this podcast I wouldn't say in a normal podcast. That's for sure.
good. It's just friends talking.
Is it? Yeah, of course it is.
That's it. I'm done.
I'm done
Wait,
too.
are you done
What?
too?
I am done. Like I'm done. I have to pee, so of course I'm
Well,
done.
then that's a perfect time to end the phone call.
Okay. Well, I hope we get to do this again at some point.
Yeah, do you know how to end your phone calls with me?
Oh yeah, of course I do.
What do you do?
Bye.
Bye.